Hello once more and welcome everybody to my painting vlog for Monday, the 24th of August 2015. I'm Dakian and you're looking at, well, the Comte de Fenalik from the Strangers on the Train set for the Horror on the Orient Express campaign. I finished him up rather simply. He's not very exciting looking, but you know, he's got this ragged old suit that I assume was the one he was buried in, so I thought it should look really faded and brown. The only splash of color is I did sort of greenish skin. He has some sort of lump in his hand, which I wondered if that was just bad casting, but I decided to disguise it by saying that, oh, he's ripped some flesh out of somebody, and so I painted it bloody like that. And overall, he's fine. And I quickly finished up this creature, the Shade Beast, very simply, just a bit of, you know, quick highlighting with dry brushes and some washes. But it's a very nice sculpt, so even a simple paint job gives a dramatic result. On the other hand, this dude is not finished. He's still in the works. I don't recall how much I did last week. But anyway, what's completed is the face, the skin tones, the eyes, and the hair. Well, it's good enough. And I've been thinking about what to paint the other stuff as, because I think his gloves and his boots they're actually armor. But I don't think it's going to be functional armor. I think he's wearing like show armor. And this is like a padded... So I'm going to paint those like a gold metallic, and the doublet and the pants are some sort of cloth, and they have probably gold or silver trim on them. Yeah, something like that. He's not a priority. And just to show you what's in the pipeline, I'll bring out this dude, which is a Call of Cthulhu miniature from Ratham. The name of it doesn't appear anywhere in the packaging, but you can see that there's a lot of tentacles. What it is a so-called Dark Young of Shub-Niggurath. You have the legs portion here and the tentacles coming up the top. We'll see. Once this guy is at least nearing completion, I'll start assembling this one. For Frostgrave, I'm still working on these same 5 guys. I'm not adding anything new to the pipeline. I don't have any miniatures in my collection currently that I want to add to the warband, so I'm just going to work on finishing these guys. What I've done is the metallic portions and the faces. Just some skin tones and a little bit of this guy has a mustache, so I painted that. But they don't have much else in the way of facial hair, and you can't see anything else of their hair because they're wearing full helmets, all of them. So, well, you know, work continues apace. Now the Shikome from Malifaux is kind of in a rough state. All I've done really is roughly block out some base coats, and these are not going to be the final colors by a long shot. But I'm going for something similar to the image. You can see that they've gone for a kind of letting the skin tone continue out to the wings and the the bone portions of the wings, while having the membranes be black and also having a sort of black feeling on the scales on the legs. So that's gray, a dark gray here, and we have some flesh color and going for dark blue, sort of bluish black hair maybe. Now I don't know if I'm gonna have time to even get started on these, but this is next in line for Malifaux, the Night Terrors. Again, these are some beasts, but resurrectionist beasts, the kind of undead beasts. You can see there's the kind of like vaguely humanoid vampire bats with 4 wings for whatever reason. And these are, interestingly enough, molded in one piece with their bases, or partial bases. So I don't have to do any gluing to get them to sit on their bases. That's nice. But they have these extra wings. So he has 2 wings, 1 pair of wings here, and there's holes here where you can fit a 2nd pair of wings. And the same thing for this dude. I'm not sure which pair belongs to which guy, or if they're identical. We'll have to figure that out. And the dark brown paint scheme is possibly a little boring and would fade into the background. I might go for something with a little bit lighter, brighter highlights, perhaps, or maybe add a 2nd color somewhere, because this is very, very monotone. We'll figure it out once we get there. So in Bones news, I've completed everything I started last week, and I rushed through a lot of these, because I didn't care for them. I mean, some of these guys are just so boring. The problem is that with the Kickstarter, a lot of the stuff I backed for the core set plus a lot of add-ons, and the core set, it was a big box of stuff that they chose. I did not pick and choose which minis would be included there, and that means there was a lot of stuff in there that I would not have bought, even in metal, even in better material, you know. And some of the ones I'm showing you now are those. I just find these sculpts not very interesting, and even the ones that would have been interesting are made less so by the material. So it's really quick and dirty paint jobs. Now some of them, as I said, some of them like these, the Sylph and the Dryad. These are kind of interesting sculpts, and especially this one is pretty cool. She's coming out of the tree like that, and you know, I can see myself getting this model in metal and doing a nice paint job on her sometime in the future, you know, once I've passed the big mountain of metal that I already have. Anyway, I did finish a couple of more Bones, even, that you haven't seen before. First off, this one, because he was so simple. This is what in Dungeons & Dragons is known as a Gorgon, which is historically inaccurate. It's not what in mythology is known as a Gorgon. But Gary Gygax never lets facts get in the way. He's simply a big metallic bull. Very easy to paint. And when they make models this big and this chunky in the Bonesium material, they're relatively easy to clean off, and there's not so much flashing and other mistakes. So, you know, I was pretty happy with that one. I also started on some demons. This one is the one that I finished. This is what is known as a Babao, introduced in 3rd edition, I believe. And possibly the most interesting thing about this is the experiment I made on the base. You see the crackle here. This is not my usual crackle medium that I've struggled so much with. I actually went out and made a test buy of a Citadel technical paint. This is Martian Iron Earth. I just wanted to see how it would work. And it works pretty well. It does what it's supposed to do. It provides a strong, even crackling. Now, the only issue is perhaps that it's just one color. I did get the Agrellan Earth as well. So that means we have 2 tones. We have a tan and a red. So next time I use these, I'm going to experiment to see if I can paint them after the crackle has to happen. If I can just lightly dry brush maybe some other color on to highlight it, that would be good. Well, that's it for completed bones. I haven't prepped much in the way of new bones because I still have all those Frostgrave soldiers I want to finish. I want to prioritize those and not get distracted. But I did get the rest of the demon set. Well, it's supposed to be demon. This is a succubus, of course. She's been base coated a little bit. This is Sophie, the Reaper mascot. And this is, of course, a Vrock, or Type 1 demon, as they're known if you're a first edition Grognard. These two are supposed to be demons. I don't know what kind they are. This is like a winged ape and like a furry gargoyle. They're not any official D&D demons that I know of. But, well, I'll paint them sort of demonic since they were supposed to be demons. And of course here we have a classical chimera with the 3 heads and the scorpion tail and the bat wings. And you might wonder why they're also pink. That's because I happened to put too much of that paint on my palette. And I wanted to use it for something, so I used it to undercoat these. Because with these bones, you quite often need at least 2 coats of paint anyway to get it to stick. Even if you've primed them, paint doesn't stick to them very well. So, that will be it for the bones, I think. These will probably be done by next week. So when I'm talking about the core set of the Bones Kickstarter, this is what I mean. It came in this box. As it says here, the Bone Sylvania. That was their tagline for that Kickstarter too. Core set, this is the front of the box. Here we have the back, which shows off some of the minis. You'll recognize all of these guys. I've painted them. And they advertise their own paint line a little bit. There are no paints included in the box, but you know, they're just telling you that you should use these paints, of course. And as I said, this was the bulk of it. This was at least 75–80% of all the minis I got from the Kickstarter. And here's the thing. Once the demons and the chimera, the ones that are currently on my painting table, are complete, I'll have done everything that was in this box. It will be empty. Well, it is empty now, but you know, it's all finished. Kickstarter core set. Yeah. And after that point, I will have some of the add-ons that I bought left to do. But seriously, I'm thinking of taking a break from Bones. I'm just kind of exhausted from painting all these crappy plastic minis. I feel like I need to take a vacation and just paint some nice minis only for a while. We'll see what I decide next week. But until then, or at least until my next video, this is Dakian signing off.